Buckle up for another episode of Ghostfacers, a supernatural rewatch podcast. My name is Richard, and sitting shotgun as always
Yeah,
is my
that's a good point,
brother
yeah.
in podcasting, Reed.
Yeah, that's really good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, did you miss what he's just said?
Sorry, we're doing the intro. Who are you
Yeah.
talking?
Yeah, well, we got Kyle here. Yeah.
Kyle was in the previous episode.
Kyle's always on for the first episode of the season. This is obviously a premiere episode.
No, this is the
Kyle's
second
sitting right
episode.
here.
Nope.
Did you not hear what he just said to you?
There's nobody there.
What?
There's nobody there.
What are you talking about?
The computer is recording.
But I'm
there-
gesturing in physical space.
One, Kyle is in Los Angeles. Two,
He's been here for every other time.
I'm sorry, he's been here every other time?
Every other time.
In the room.
Yeah. But we only give him a mic on premiere episodes.
So he's just always around to you?
Are you telling me you've never seen him here?
I've seen Kyle in person one time in my life, and that was years ago. He's never been here.
You got to get off your phone, man. You're always on that so much.
Yeah, I
you
don't
got to
really-
live in the moment.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention. Let's get into it.
Ghostfacers! We face a ghost, when others will not, we're ghosts! Ghostfacers! Stay in the kitchen when the kitchen gets hot! Ghostfacers! We face a nightmare, we face a dread! Ghostfacers! We face a faceless, we face a dead!
Welcome to Ghostfacers. Today we're discussing Season 7, Episode number 2. Hello, Cruel World.
Yeah. Ready to drink it down.
Yeah, I hope that showed up on mic.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But before we...
I mean, that's a bad sound effect to pair with me opening a beer.
That's very...
Woo!
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a light beer.
Yeah.
It's absolutely not.
It's not at all.
It's the heaviest beer I can
Yeah.
find.
Well,
Also,
before
what
we...
kind of a tasting note is roasty?
Oh, God. So you can't start talking about the tasting notes. This
Warming? It's not. That's... Hey, do you own a brewery? Anyone out there? I got a note for you about tasting notes. They have to be tastes.
Yes.
You psychos.
All right. Before we get into today's episode, why don't we have a review?
Wow, it's almost like we were having a completely different conversation, and then just like your brain clicked and you started doing this.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nice.
Review.
Great.
From Toby M124 via Apple Podcast Great Britain.
Oh, greetings.
Nice. Saved it.
Fucking nailed it.
You know, as the British say.
Tally-ho.
It's a 5-star review with the title, Love This Podcast. I go on to say, I got out of heart surgery last month.
Jesus.
And needed a show I could binge, so I decided to go with Supernatural.
Can I
Gripping.
just, like, I know there's more to this
Yeah.
review, but this is like the 4th review we've gotten that's like,
I almost
died. In my convalescence, I've been listening to you two.
Yeah, I don't know. In people's time of need.
I do kind of like that, like, the way people get into us is like, I have nothing else going on.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. I gotta.
No, they have a new lease on life, and now they appreciate us.
Yeah, I mean, that feels like a putting the bad foot forward.
So they decided to go with Supernatural, which is something they've already seen the first 6 seasons of and loved, but for whatever reason, never continued. And then forgot too much of what had happened that they felt they needed to start over, and they're glad they did because it meant discovering this podcast, which is coming to a close of coming to the close of season 1. They found they get just as excited listening to what these hosts think of it as they are watching the show. Thank you two for making such a fun podcast, and I'm excited to listen to more.
That's awesome. That's so nice. And I think what you'll enjoy as we're going through this is that the British are never the bad guys.
Nope. Never once.
Certainly not as a nation.
Yep.
Gulp.
Very funny. So this episode aired September 30th, 2011. Written by the great Ben Edlund.
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Love it.
I was looking today at his like credits. I'm like, is he still making stuff?
Yeah.
Not really. Like
He only existed for Supernatural.
he did a couple other things after it, but like Supernatural sort of like his big credit.
Did he have like a bunch of stuff before? Like, is he older than we're picturing
Yes.
him being? He's sort
yeah.
of just like, well, that was it for me. I'm retiring, kind of thing.
I wouldn't say retiring. He's probably like in his late 40s.
Oh, okay. Then I would expect more credits then.
Yeah. But he's got a decent career beforehand.
Sure.
But yeah.
Right.
This was directed by not my first choice.
Okay. I don't remember.
This Guy B.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Hey, who's directing this one? Guy A? He's busy.
Yeah. I
All
guess
right,
go
fine.
Guy B.
Guy B.
Viewed by an estimated.
That's better than being like the 7th best Scotsman and being Mick G.
Hell yeah. This episode was viewed by an estimated 1.80
Ooh.
million viewers.
Hefty drop.
Yeah.
Hefty drop.
Big drop.
200,000.
Yeah, not great.
Wow.
So, well, we've got 2 promos
Okay.
to look at.
Sure.
One's like the weekly one and one's like the fall promo because
Oh, okay.
I don't know why.
They released a fall promo for the 2nd episode of this?
Well, also, it's like September. Like, how long was it? It's like 2 months.
Yeah, at that point.
It's weird.
Okay.
But here we go. Here's the first one.
Sure.
Just for the episode. So
Pretty quick.
yeah, pretty quick. But I think like
I don't hate that one.
it's a decent one actually.
Yeah, I don't hate that. And you know, if you're already watching the show, you already know that there's like something going on with Cass. If you're not watching the show, that feels like an easy jumping on point based on that promo.
Yeah.
You just go like, oh, he just doesn't know what's real or not. Let's see what this episode's about.
Totally.
You know, like actually, I don't mind that promo. I can't believe how much I've said that lately.
You know what's crazy too is I just started noticing. I don't know if it's been all last season or not, but like the promos and is in like the show's in HD. Like,
Yeah, it's made the transition.
yeah, it's gotten way better.
Yeah.
All right, now let's watch the promo for the fall season.
Yeah, sure. Is it just Supernatural in the fall season, or is it like
No,
the
no.
CW's
No,
fall
no.
lineup?
It's just Supernatural.
Oh, okay, all right.
Fucking love that promo.
That's pretty good.
That's
Actually.
a great ass promo.
Listen, I don't really have notes.
It's
good.
I recommend people watching it. It's cool because the whole thing is just like it starts out like a water.
I did think it was an ad.
Yeah. It's like an ad for like a water company or something like that, or like a community or something.
Yeah. You love water.
Yeah, and then it turns into like something's in the water.
Yeah.
It's fucking rad. I love it.
It's a good promo.
Yeah, love it. All right. Well, those are the promos. Now to the international titles.
All right.
So,
How many do we have for this?
3.
Okay.
Hello, Cruel World.
Right.
That's what we're working with.
As opposed to Goodbye, Cruel World.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. Which is I couldn't find anything of like the origins of that.
It's not a song. It's not a lyric.
I don't.
Are we out of that now?
I think so. Oh yeah. We're definitely out of that. As Kyle pointed out.
Yes. Yeah. Of course,
very disappointed of that. But I think we'll return to it. But we're definitely in the like Fall Out Boy era.
Yeah. Sure.
So we're starting with Hungary.
Whoa, we're starting with Hungary. Hello,
Yeah.
Cruel World. It's just called Hello. The Cruel World isn't blind because you're in Hungary.
Hilariously, the opposite.
Oh, it's just called Cruel
It's just
World?
called Cruel World, yeah.
Man, really hitting the nail on the head there, Hungary.
All right, now the German title.
The German title is like Don't Drink the Water or something like
No,
that.
it's basically Hello Cruel World, but like without any like poeticism.
Oh, is that Hi Cruel World? We saved you a seat.
No, that's even too poetic for this.
Okay.
This is just
The world is cruel.
Evil New World.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Yeah, sure. I
I have
guess.
an idea, a future that we could maybe put together.
1,000-year evil new world.
It's the most evil new world we could come up with.
Und we had some ideas.
Yeah. Some might say we might be the experts.
I know it sounds like hyperbole to say that now this is the most evil idea we've had, but we've really outdone ourselves this time.
It's gonna you won't last 10 seconds looking at this new idea.
Evil new worlds in your area.
All right, the last title.
You won't last. Jesus Christ.
The last title.
France?
That's right. The French title.
Is this one like Don't Drink the Water or something? I keep expecting someone to do
They are doing that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but not about drinking the water, but you're on the right path.
Oh. How am I on the right path, but it's not that? Is it like Don't Trust Your Eyes? Is it more about Sam?
No, it's about water.
Well, then what the... I have no idea then. What?
It's a pretty decent title,
Okay.
even though it doesn't really like... It works. I think it's a stretch, but it works.
Okay.
It's Black Tide.
Oh, do you know what?
Yeah, right?
I like it.
That's pretty good.
You know, the problem with kids these days, they keep drinking those black Tide pods. They keep doing the Black Tide challenge.
You know what? I mean, you know what the thing is like that urban music made it into our radios, and it's been a real black tide.
Good Lord. Good Lord. I was going to bring up that old internet sketch that I like with the racist laundromat.
Oh, yeah. So good. All right. Featured music from this episode. We've got, of course, Black Water by Doobie Brothers. What up?
Black water,
Keep on rolling.
Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on me?
This is the problem, I think, and we've talked about this many times over the last few years, but it's like that would have been the title.
You should have just called it Black Water.
Yeah, but then for whatever reason, they don't like to use the song and have it as a title.
Yeah. I don't know this world necessarily, but I wonder if that's like an additional rights thing.
Maybe. It
Where
could
it's like,
be.
yeah, we give you the rights to like use a bit of the song, but if you're also like, if the episode becomes like this, if you have to pay more, or if there's like an additional license, like I wonder if
because it's like now it's like, well, you're using the song and it's called that.
It feels like they've done it so many times that it can't just be like a whoopsie.
Yeah, no. It's got to be intentional. All right, get ready for this TV guide description.
Okay, I'm strapped in.
Okay,
I'm ready. Crack.
It's a can opening again.
Oh, no. Oh.
Yeah, that's better. It's so funny. Sam experiences hallucinations caused by the broken wall in his head. Meanwhile, Castiel struggles with his newfound power, and Bobby worries about Dean as he tries to fight Castiel and take care of Sam.
I mean, yes.
Sort of?
Mostly.
Not really.
Yes, mostly. They just kind of, I think...
Castiel's not really in this episode.
They just kind of oversell when in the episode Cass loses control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's instant.
But...
the episode's not about that.
Yeah.
I think what it is...
I was going to try and defend it more, but no, that's all I had.
My guess is that it's written that way so they don't spoil the appearance of Leviathans.
Or the death of Castiel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But interesting. But before we get into that, why don't we open up Dad's journal and learn about some of the real world lore?
Yeah, let's see what the lore says about delusional disorder.
Ooh.
Yeah, so there's... there are lots of psychiatric and psychotic disorders that involve hallucinations, but including like schizophrenia and stuff like that. But a thing that stood out to me about delusional disorder, the reason that I was like, well, that's just going to be the lore, is that there's a whole kind of thing about it, which is like delusional disorder is way rarer a diagnosis. There are lots of psychotic disorders where you hallucinate, and they are diagnosed way more. Because the thing with delusional disorder is that it's a type of mental health condition in which a person can't tell what's real from what's imagined, but specifically, it tends to be non-bizarre delusions, which means it involves situations that could possibly occur in real life. So it's not like if someone sits there and says like, oh, yeah, I've been talking to JFK all week.
Yeah.
You go, well, that's...
Yeah, no.
But if someone is like, I think I've been followed all week, and like maybe maybe they leave work at the same time every day, and it times out they notice the same cars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could have these non-bizarre delusions. So, they involve situations that could possibly occur in real life, such as being followed, deceived, or loved from a distance. These delusions usually involve the misinterpretation of perceptions or experiences. In reality, these situations are either untrue or highly exaggerated. So that's different from, as I just said, like what are called bizarre delusions.
Sure, yeah.
So non-bizarre delusions are different from bizarre delusions, which include beliefs that are impossible in our reality, such as believing someone has removed an organ from your body without any physical evidence of the procedure. Now, I say all of this with the interesting context that in Supernatural, what would ordinarily constitute a bizarre delusion is non-bizarre for Sam.
Yeah.
You know, normally if someone was like, I'm seeing Lucifer, we've been chatting, it's like bizarre delusion goes in that category. But in Supernatural, what Lucifer is pitching Sam, that it's like, this is my greatest trick ever. I'm making you think you're not still in the cage.
I mean,
like that by the show's own internal logic qualifies more as delusional disorder.
sure.
Because Sam just cannot tell what is or is not real, because everything he's experiencing is a reasonable degree of plausible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in this world, yeah.
In that world, you know, which I find interesting. Here's the other piece of it. People with delusional disorder often continue to socialize and function well, like we see with Sam in this episode, apart from the subject of their delusion. So they don't behave in an odd or unusual manner. This is unlike people with psychotic disorders who might also have delusions as a symptom. So
this is similar to like, and it's mentioned in this episode, but the Beautiful Mind. Exactly the same sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I think John Nash had schizophrenia.
Sure.
There's probably some other kind of like metric that makes
Sure,
it that,
yeah,
not
yeah.
this, that I don't know what it is.
Sure.
I think technically John Nash had schizophrenia, but
Yeah.
the description certainly feels more like that, you know, because he was just having kind of paranoid delusions about like shadow government agencies.
But he also
and stuff
saw,
like
at least
that.
in the movie, he saw people too.
Yeah, but wasn't it mostly like FBI, CIA? Like, wasn't that
That
most
was
of
a
his
component
delusions?
of that, but
Yeah.
he also like saw there. He had like 3 people that he would see all the time.
Oh, right.
It was like a little girl, a woman.
Oh,
and then, like,
yeah, you're right.
Jude Law or whatever I think is one of them.
Right. So there's a few types of delusional disorder
Yeah.
that are kind of interesting here. There's erotomaniac, erotomanic. The people with this delusional disorder believe that another person, often someone important or famous, is in love with them. They may attempt to contact this person of the person of the delusion and engage in stalking behavior. There's grandiose delusions. People have an overinflated sense of self-worth, power, knowledge, or identity. They may believe they have great talent or they've made an important discovery. There's jealous delusions. People who believe that their spouse or partner is unfaithful without any evidence.
Mm-hmm.
There's persecutory delusions, who believe someone or something is mistreating, spying on, or attempting to harm them or someone close to them. They might make like repeated complaints to legal authorities.
Mm-hmm.
Somatic delusions. There's people that believe they have a physical issue or a medical problem, such as a parasite or a bad odor. And then there's mixed delusions, which is when people have more than one of the above.
Okay.
Real key point here, though, is that people with delusional disorder like are functional. They don't have like things like disorganized speech or behavior, or like the negative symptoms kind of thing. You know, like in some psychotic disorders, you have like fewer responses or facial expressions. That's like
really?
a negative symptom.
Okay.
But in this one, you basically would just operate normally, other than the fact that your perception of reality is like not 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So delusional disorder, it's basically exactly describing
What Sam's going through.
Sam in this episode.
Yeah, except for that a wall broke and that's why he's got it.
Well, yeah, but even frankly, we as the audience aren't 100% sure of the full state of things. I think
Sure.
we as the audience know Sam is not in the cage, but we don't know really what the relationship to Lucifer is here.
True.
Does it mean that like did part of Lucifer get out in his
Yeah,
head? Like,
yeah.
I think we also part of why I think this episode works is we also don't really know what is happening.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we get into today's episode.
Let's do it.
Beginning with the then, which is largely just what we've seen the last episode.
Yeah. You know, we're early in the season. But
Yeah.
you're right. There's not really like a. Is there anything from
Just
last
the
episode?
wall breaking, I think.
Oh, sure.
And
You're
sort of just like setting up sort of Sam's delusions.
Right.
That's kind of it.
That's about it. Yeah.
And then we get directly into the moments after previous episode.
Yeah.
Where we take.
This is now the third episode in this fucking lab.
It's true. Yeah. That's crazy. Excuse me. So we start up right where we left off with Castiel being now possessed by all of these Leviathans.
Yeah, he's thrown Bobby. Bobby's unresponsive at the moment, but alive.
Yeah.
Dean is on the ground. And,
they're all sort of just like, hey, whatever is there in there. Like, you look not great because it's starting to like seep all this like black ooze out of it.
Oh yeah,
it is like ready to like burst.
Yeah,
which like doesn't.
They're like, we're gonna have fun.
Yeah, admittedly, it doesn't really like make sense because those things have been in there for a while, and theoretically, there's less things in him now than there was prior.
But there's also he also doesn't have the power of the souls to keep them in check. I think
okay.
That's how I
see
it. Like, because they make some comment in the previous episode where it's like, even with that power, you think you're going to stop them? Like,
yeah.
And he had too much soul power, which was also burning his vessel. But now he doesn't have the soul power to keep the Leviathans in check. And I think that's how I viewed it.
Totally. We do have a bit of like a We Are Legion sort of situation here going on.
Yes.
Which has some biblical context as well. But the Leviathan basically realizes it can't stay. It needs to leave. And so it sort of just walks.
Well, yeah, because this vessel's about to explode.
Yeah.
It's the thing that stops them from killing Dean and Bobby there in the moment.
Totally.
They're like leaking blood and ooze and stuff, and like they kind of stumble out. As they stumble out, they stumble past whatever room Sam has locked himself into.
Yes.
Because remember, he went missing.
Yeah. Exactly.
When he was trying to get the blood for the ritual.
Exactly. And walks directly towards a water reserve.
Yeah. So, Cass just like walks into the water.
A funny note,
well, not Cass, but whatever's in Cass.
Funny note about this: during the scene where Cass is like seeping with all of this Leviathan blood, Misha was actually violently ill at that time and had to throw up between takes.
I mean, it probably added to the performance.
How shitty he looked, honestly. It sort of worked out really well.
That's really funny, actually.
But yeah,
it goes fully submerged, and then we see this like, and this big black cloud, and then it sort of like expands out through the water.
Exactly, as the guys watch on as this is happening. Yeah. We then get cut.
But it's like a city, like I don't know what you call it, but it's like the water reservoir, the drinking water reservoir for a city.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's not just like some pond in a forest.
No.
So they're like, well, shit.
Yeah, this is going everywhere.
Yeah.
And so then we cut to it then going everywhere. So we get a young girl like drinking from a water fountain, and it shoots into her mouth. We get
people like filling taps or having showers.
Yeah, a guy and a mechanic working on his like car, and it shoots into his face. And they all become possessed by Leviathan.
Yeah, the mechanic we see more of. His name is Edgar.
Yeah.
And I think he ends up being my second favorite otherworldly being in an Edgar suit.
Sugar
water. That's it's an Edgar suit.
Yeah. Oh my god.
He's wearing an Edgar suit.
I don't know. That sounds.
Oops.
I don't know who is better, the wife or the husband in that performance. Like, they're both.
I mean,
incredible.
It's absolutely Vincent D'Onofrio,
like,
but she's really bringing it. Man, I should rewatch Men in Black.
I just watched it the other day.
Like the first one,
yeah, because Blank Check did a miniseries on it on their Patreon.
Oh shit, I should do that.
Yeah. It's really good. It's fucking so good. So the back at Bobby's, Sam is now resting.
Yeah, we kind of have a
Where'd you go?
About you fucking vanishing.
Yeah. Dean checks Sam's injured hand, but that seems to be okay.
Yeah.
Bobby mentions that
it's pretty grody looking, but
Yeah.
like it's been stitched up. And Dean pours whiskey on it.
it is interesting.
The approved the medical way of dealing with it.
It is interesting. I mean, I get why they do it, and obviously it's an important injury, but like how often do these guys get hurt and then it's like the next episode they're fine?
I mean, that's true too. I do, but I know there were real world reasons for it, but we had like Sam in the sling for a bit.
Sure, but that's what I mean.
But that was a real world thing.
Yeah.
But
it always is funny when
it's funny to me too that the whiskey thing's not like just when they're in a motel and they do that. I'm like, hey, in the field.
what do you got to do?
But they're at Bobby's. Like Bobby
Yeah.
has no antiseptic.
Yeah,
We're
there's
still
no way
pouring
that's-
whiskey on wounds.
Yeah, he's got like
that's good whiskey.
he's got child bones from the 16th century. I'm sure he's got
He's got hand sanitizer or something.
so funny.
Like peroxide or something.
Dean asks why Sam was lying to him about being okay.
Yeah.
And that Sam finally admits that he's not okay.
We have a pretty open dialogue through this episode.
I'm so fucking proud of this show for this moment.
This episode feels like a real turning
We
point.
finally learned.
I mean,
I know,
but
but
generally,
yeah.
We do better, I think, from this point on.
Absolutely.
It's never perfect, but
he's
we do
just
better.
like, yeah, I'm seeing shit. Like,
He's like,
oops.
I'm not okay. I'm seeing things, including drum roll, Lucifer.
Yeah.
He's like, and he says, and we see it in the promo too. He goes, "I'm just having a hard time figuring
what's
out
real."
what's real."
Yeah.
And Dean goes, "Well, that's not a small thing."
Yeah, and he's
You
just
know?
like, why would Lucifer like create this like world?
Yeah.
And I do like because Dean says, why did the devil holodeck you in whole new life?
Love that.
Obviously a Star Trek.
I mean,
Next gen reference.
and we're deep in Star Trek right now, baby.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
Fuck yeah. Sam and Lucifer simultaneously say that you can't take something away from someone who has nothing left to lose.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this episode does a really good job of putting you in Sam's position.
Yeah.
Because there is the sort of like, we have the dramatic irony thing of
Yeah.
like, we know that Sam's in the real world.
Totally.
We've been watching the show the whole time or
Yeah.
whatever. But this episode does do a good job of being like, but like,
It would be so hard for anyone.
How do you prove that to Sam?
Yeah, especially with the theory that it's like, oh, this is a torture device for that a godly being is doing to you.
And also, it's not out of the realm of
Not at
possibility for the
all.
show.
Not at all.
For the show to go like, like the last couple of episomes, that actually has been in Sam's head.
Yes.
Like, I think even for us, we
Yes.
go like, is this real?
Yes.
Like, I think the show does a pretty good job of
It
that.
absolutely does.
Yeah, which is sort of fun.
Lucifer keeps speaking to Sam, and Sam
Great
looks
performance
over
by
to
Lucifer. I wish I didn't like him so
I
much.
know. Dean realizes that Sam is actually seeing Lucifer as they're having this conversation
In the room.
And
I think Bobby has a good reaction here because Bobby's like kind of freaked because I think even Bobby is like,
Are you seeing
is
Lucifer?
in
Yeah.
the room right now? Like, I think Bobby's got the best reaction in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then he's like, I'm gonna go back to work. He
Yeah.
just leaves.
So funny. Elsewhere, the little girl possessed by the Leviathan is flipping through channels in her bedroom. And the channel goes to Dr. Sexy, MD.
Yeah. It is funny that like we're 7 seasons in.
We've
We've maybe only gotten 3 Dr. Sexy references
Yes.
in the show ever.
Yeah.
But
it works.
An ad. We got changing channels.
Yeah.
There's one other
Yeah,
one, but
yeah.
like for the most part, we don't. It's not like every week we're getting
Nope.
a dig at Grey's, but it is really funny to have these little in-joke things.
I love it.
And they're also so generic.
Yes.
Like it feels like I'm not 100%. It feels like GTA.
Yeah.
When you turn on the radio, you know what it's parodying, but it's
Yes.
also like so much a spoof that you're like, if you lived in this world, this would be an outrageous thing to listen
Yes.
to. Like,
But we see a character yelling at the doctor for cutting into anyone he wants, and the
Yeah.
girl evilly smiles.
yeah.
Back at Bobby's house, Dean and Bobby watch Sam field strip his gun, worried his brother could take off at any moment. Because, I mean, it's Sam. It's what he does.
Yeah.
And
he's so well trained.
I know. It's terrifying.
Put him back in the fucking thing.
I know. Dean goes into Sam's jacket and grabs Sam's cell to turn on the GPS. Smart.
Yes.
I love these things that it's like we've like learned enough throughout the seasons.
Yep.
to think about these extra steps.
It is nice to see some growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
We now see a high school where members of a swim team suddenly walk into a locker room with 2 other members and lock the door behind them.
Yeah.
The boys who waited inside had their eyes turned black while saying that something happened in the showers before attacking and killing the other 2.
Yeah, we get classic like
Blood
blood
splatter.
splatter sort of thing, which
love
is
that.
great. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
We then
We don't see
we don't
we don't see the face
no,
thing.
No,
there.
not
okay.
yet. We then cut to Sioux Falls General Hospital.
Hey, oh yeah, this was in the then. That's how you knew it was going to be a good
Yeah.
episode. We got a little shot of Sheriff Mills.
That's right. An older woman complains to Jody Mills, who
man, what a
recently
smoke
had an
show.
appendectomy.
Jody Mills, not the older woman.
Whatever.
Although,
Yeah. Beggars can't be choosers.
since when am I? You know what? I'm gonna leave that. We're gonna...
yeah. No, I fuck. I fuck.
What? Oh, that's fuck. That's so fuck.
I totally fuck.
Oh no, that's fuck. Bro.
Bro, I totally fuck. But they're talking about how the doctors tend to lose their tools inside their patients.
Well, yeah, I mean, this person is having what would not. I mean,
Yes.
what might technically qualify as a delusional disorder. It's not so outrageous; it's impossible.
No, and that is known to happen.
But there is a sort of like paranoia thing. She's like, they left in all the tools and a sponge. It was just in there.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Suddenly, Dr. Gaines walks in and assures Jody that she will be fine.
yeah.
Bobby finds...
She had her appendix out. That's why she's there.
Yeah. She's all right. Bobby then finds a report of swim team members attacking other members and figures it has to be the Leviathans.
Right.
Sam says that it needs to be checked out, but Dean has to go by himself due to Sam's mental state. Dean isn't sure it's safe to leave Sam with Bobby, but Bobby assures Dean that he can keep an eye on Sam.
Yeah.
Sam says he can't follow a lead with Dean because he's 5150'd, which is the California Welfare and Institutions, WIC, code used for involuntary psychiatric hold. It is also used as a police code just for someone who's crazy. Yeah. So hence the amp 5150, the song 5150.
Oh, okay. What about the band 5440?
Same thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Got an ocean pearl. Is that the?
Yeah, it must be. Wow. We then cut to a park where Edgar is meeting up with the little girl.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yep. Totally fine.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta say this. We get this a few times in this episode. The Leviathans, they have not seen the world.
Yeah.
They're from before almost everything.
Yeah, so they have to go into people to be able to understand the world.
They're before angels.
Yeah.
They're before, right? Like, so, the one in the little girl watching that Dr. Sexy thing. And Dr. Sexy is obviously meant to be parodying Grey's, and on the show they're like, you think as a doctor you can just cut into anyone you want or whatever. And they go like, oh, doctor, they can just cut into like the Leviathans have this sort of like middle ground thing where they're not so naive as when we first meet Cass.
Sure, yeah.
But there is this kind of like Drax, like they take stuff at face value sort of thing. That's kind of fun. And it happens a few times in this episode. And I sort of dig it as a general characterization.
Yeah.
When they're just like, can you believe that like people come to places like this? They think that they're safe and they're not safe. I like the sort of like outsider view they've got.
I think what's interesting is that they are able to one, capture all of the like information that whatever body that they sort of go into is, but also that they're clearly like the ultimate weapon. Like they can just adapt so quickly, which is probably why they had to get gotten rid of.
Yeah.
So Edgar's meeting up with the little girl, and they both make comments about each other's bodies, and the girl's just like, this girl doesn't know anything. Like, 'cause it's a kid, it doesn't have any information.
Yeah.
Edgar tells her that she needs to get the others in line due to the swimming team incident.
Makes a vague reference to the boss.
Yes. In addition to that, the boss wants it cleaned up and doesn't like bad news.
Yeah, like this is the most insidious part of this thing is whatever they're doing, they're trying to keep it quiet.
Yeah.
Which is not how demons work.
No.
It's not how angels work.
No.
Like that's the scariest, I think, part is that like they're organized and they're trying to keep it quiet.
Totally.
You're like, oh no.
That's what makes them so powerful.
Yeah, it's good. They're very, very sort of insidious. Yeah.
Totally. The girl mentions that she has an idea and tells Edgar that she may need his help.
Yeah.
Dr. Gaines now is making his rounds when he checks a supposedly empty room and finds that same little girl inside.
Yeah.
He asks if she needs help, and she replies if he is Dr. Sexy.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing to hear from a girl.
This is also like at night.
Yeah.
This is at night. This girl's here by herself. She asks if he's Dr. Sexy, and instead of just going, nurse, he goes, well, I'm a doctor. You're like, stop flirting back.
Yeah. It's
what are you doing?
Reminds me of that Steve McGovern bit. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
And she asks if he can cut into any body he wants. He's like, what? Like,
yeah, she breaks his wrist.
Yep.
And then, like, assumes his identity.
Yes.
It's not the Leviathan, like, it's not like with
inside.
a demon. Like, it doesn't change possession.
They kill the thing and then become it.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the other way around, become it and then kill it.
Sure.
Which is even creepier. Yeah.
Jody then wakes up and sees Dr. Gaines gassing her roommate.
Yeah. Imagine having this crazy old woman be like, I don't trust hospitals. The doctors are out to kill you. And then she wakes up and looks over and the doctor is trying to kill her.
Insane. Once she's knocked out, Dr. Gaines...
He's like, well, he's got the gas on her. He's like, just breathe in. I can cut it. I'm the doctor here. I'll do whatever fucking surgery I want. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I do like that, like, none of these Leviathans are great at keeping it under wraps, even though that's clearly the orders they've been given.
It's like, I just want to eat.
Yeah.
But Dr. Gaines then begins moving her, and Jody pretends to be asleep as he passes by.
Yeah. Also, this hospital's fucking dead.
Yes.
I like, listen.
Leviathans,
we live in a small remote town.
Yeah.
Our hospital also has downtime in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not no one.
No, there's nurses at least.
You know, like, this hospital in Sioux Falls is like skeleton crew.
Yeah.
There's like nobody in this building.
Out of her room, Jody then gets out of bed and grabs her IV to follow.
Yeah.
And sort of gets caught as she's out of the room.
Well, she gets to the surgical ward.
Yeah, and passes out.
Or sorry, it's the it's an organ donation ward.
Yeah.
That is closed for renos.
Yes.
Like, we got to beautify the ward. But she gets in there. She sees the doctor cutting this woman open and like eating her like liver or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she tries to get away, passes out in the hallway.
Totally.
Yeah.
We then cut to Bobby. Sam gets a call from Dean, and Dean tells Sam that the two swim kids are missing, and the black liquid is all over the locker room.
Yeah, because we briefly check in with Dean there at the scene, and the CSI is like, be like, isn't it rad how much blood there is here?
Yeah.
He's like really cool about it. And Dean sees like the black, like inky shit on the wall, and he goes like, God damn it is a Leviathan.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it be anything else?
So funny.
Yeah.
Jody then wakes up and finds herself back in bed.
Yeah.
Dr. Gaines walks in and asks what she was doing wandering the halls.
There's a nurse there with her too.
Yeah. And Jody lies and says, and Dr. Gaines responds that he'll come back soon to fix the sutures she ripped out wandering the halls.
Yeah.
As the doctor leaves, the nurse gives her a sedative. Once alone, Jody rushes to get her phone.
Well, rips the IV out before too much of the sedative could take, but some of it took.
Yeah. And Richard, rips out her IV and calls the boys.
Calls
Bobby. Sam is now approaching Lucifer and asks why he didn't just end it. Lucifer responds by saying that Sam was right where he wants him, and it will only end when Sam can't take it anymore.
Yeah, he's like, this is amazing. This is the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah,
why would I end this?
Yeah,
you're my chew toy. You know
exactly.
Yeah.
Bobby assures Sam that he will be able to beat the devil since he's done it before.
Yeah.
And we'll get a handle on the situation because like Sam is like caught yelling.
Is this the scene though where like it looks like Lucifer stabbed Bobby?
Yes.
But
that's
then
the
Bobby's
next thing
just
that
like,
happens.
Sam.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the next thing that
that's
happens.
right,
Where Lucifer walks behind him and then puts a through his chest with a fire poker.
Yeah.
Believing it not to be real, Sam agrees with Bobby without giving him a sign that he was just hallucinating.
Yeah.
And then Bobby gets the call from Jody.
Yeah. It's like, it's Sheriff Mills, Jody Mills. And Bobby's like, oh, Jody, I wasn't ready for your call.
Look,
she's like, listen, I hunted demons or whatever with you. I know you handle this shit. The doctor here is like not a person.
yes.
I need you to get to Sioux Falls General. And Bobby's like, I'm on it.
So quick.
Sam, you're fine, right?
Yeah, I know
Anyway,
you just had
see ya.
Yeah, I knew you just had a mental breakdown. At the hospital, Edgar and the two swim boys arrive, and Dr. Gaines lets them in.
Yeah.
The doctor tells them about the hospital and that it's a perfect feeding ground since no one will question the deaths.
This is the scene where the doctor is like, people come here. This is where they repair themselves. They think they're safe here, but most of them die here.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't get it, but basically we could eat pretty
as much
well.
as we want, yeah.
Yeah, no one will ever find out.
In the back, the head nurse and staff administrator are tied up.
Yes.
And Edgar, pleased, says that the boss will be happy with this and tells the two swim boys to eat and change into the two humans tied up.
Yeah. Fucked up.
As the two eat, Dr. Gaines asks Edgar if he's going to stay, but Edgar declines, saying that he has business elsewhere.
Yeah.
We then cut to Bobby, where Sam is field stripping a gun again, and Dean pulls up, and Dean tells Sam that he followed the two swim members to Sioux Falls and needs Sam's help.
Yeah, we got it. We got to go.
Yes.
And so Sam hops in the car and they drive.
Believing that Dean needs his help.
Yeah.
At the hospital, Bobby is wheeling Jody out to the taxi, and she thanks him for helping her. With Jody on the way home, Bobby then goes to the morgue to check out the body, but he finds it already was autopsied.
Well, yeah. So he's like, because he looks at the thing, he's like, a foot problem. It's like, she
Yeah.
died, and then he like pulls the thing back and goes, she's already been autopsied, and clearly it's just because they cut in to, feast or whatever.
Exactly.
So all pretty fucked.
As they drive along, Dean asks Sam how he's doing, and Sam says that he's fine. Dean says that Sam will never be fine and that he should get some help.
Yeah.
He continues to berate Sam and tries to convince him to go see a doctor.
But he's doing it in that way where he's like, it's not like
loving.
No. I was actually going to say it is.
Oh, okay.
It's not what Sam needs to hear, but
Yeah.
it's not like you're horrible.
Like
You
we've
never-
seen when Sam's like had issues with like a fake Dean. before.
Totally. This is more like he's like, remember what happened to Martin? It almost feels like Dean has had a moment of like, like this is part of my life now too. I'm gonna have to look after you. You're never gonna be better, but we'll
figure it out.
We'll get you the help you need. Maybe we got to check you in somewhere, but yeah, I mean, you're never gonna be the same again.
Totally.
And it's kind of like, oh my god, this is a very frank conversation.
Sam turns this down and says that there's no point since no doctor can treat him anyways.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, the real Dean arrives at Bobby's.
I love how this cut happens where it's like
we don't know as an audience, like
it does feel slightly off, but again, because it's not just like your worthless mom hated you. It's not like that kind of fake Dean. You go like, oh man, Dean, read the room. You're kind of just doing that, and then to have this cut of just Dean by himself pulling up somewhere, and you're like, oh no,
exactly.
Yeah.
The Impala pulls up to an office building, and the two walk inside.
Yeah.
Sam and Lucifer as Dean enter an office building for Morningstar Enterprises.
Yeah.
The Morningstar was one of Lucifer's names before he was cast from heaven.
Yeah.
So, but it's not an office building; it's a warehouse. Inside, Dean tells Sam that he is not going to be able to control this. Sam is confused by this, and Dean points out that he isn't Dean and changes into Lucifer.
Yeah. And Sam's like, but you drove here. He's like, nope, you did.
Yeah, and Sam's got the keys in his hand.
Yeah.
And Lucifer tells him that the only way for this to end is to kill himself.
But this is what I like in this episode. Not that he tells Sam to kill himself.
Yeah.
What I like is that by showing us Dean and showing us Sam in a passenger seat,
Totally.
they're making us question as an audience what we see on the screen. Like, this is what I mean when I say this episode puts us in Sam's position.
Yeah.
Sam cannot tell what's real from what's not
Totally.
real. That's a position he's in. But now we as the audience also can't tell what's really happening because we see Sam definitively in a passenger seat, and that's obviously not what happened.
Yeah.
So now it's like, well, what are we seeing?
Exactly.
You know, and I think that's a real smart move for the episode.
Totally.
I think it really works. I think it really makes you sympathize with Sam.
Yeah.
I think you're really on Sam's side in this
I don't
episode.
think anybody would do anything
And
different.
I think this is a good Jared performance.
It is.
I'm really like him being kind of like part scared, part resolved, part like I can fight through it. Like I think he's really good in this episode.
He is. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
So we then cut
I
to
always sound so surprised when we say stuff like that.
while Bobby is examining the body, Dr. Gaines then walks in.
Yeah.
Bobby
Like, hey,
attempts-
who are you?
Yeah, and he tries to lie, but Gaines...
Bobby, like, he's just wearing like his flannel and a
I
trucker
always
hat,
love that.
but he flips out like an official badge, like it's fine to just find like a random like junkyard guy
Yes.
rummaging in a morgue.
so funny. Also, it's Sioux Falls. That's where Bobby's from.
They know him.
It's a small town. Like,
What's he gonna do?
he's known as the
he
town
pulls out
drunk.
a badge and be like, "All right, Bobby."
Yeah, so funny.
It's true. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that layer to it.
Yeah.
He's so famous for being unreliable in
Yes.
that town.
Gaines cuts Bobby off and says that he knows who Bobby is.
Yeah.
Since he saw Bobby through Castiel's eyes.
That's right.
Bobby then hits the doctor and grabs his gun and fires, but this has no effect.
Yeah, you see all the little like shotgun pelts just sort of like drop to the
Yeah.
ground, and
But that's when we get the first sighting of a Leviathan
face. Yeah,
They
that,
get
like,
the huge mouth with sharp teeth and a forked tongue.
and you know, a very toned down, but like we're definitely still trying to channel some of the Lovecraft thing.
Totally.
Just like a gaping maw. It sort of
Yeah.
like feels like tentacle things, but it's
Yeah.
not fully. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Realizing Bobby can't fight this new creature, he runs away.
Yeah.
The real Dean then arrives at Sam's location and heads inside. Dean, or Lucifer, comments to Sam about how there is another him now. Sam points the gun at Dean, who raises his hand in defense. Sam says that he thought he was with Dean already and looks over to see Lucifer.
Yeah, we've got a good thing in here where Dean is like, okay, we've got to, you know, I've been to hell.
Yeah.
I know what torture is, and it's different. It like real life feels different from it. You know, he grabs Sam's hand
Where there's
and
a
he
bandage.
presses into like the wound, and he's like, "Do you feel that?" And you see Lucifer kind of like sort
Yeah.
of
He's like, I was there.
flicker.
I'm the one who patched you up. This is
Yeah.
a real injury. It feels real.
Yeah, and he's like, do you get it? It feels different from hell.
Yes.
And it's a really good moment. And then Sam is like, oh, I can make myself hurt.
Yeah.
And he kind of doubles down and
presses his hand, like hurts himself.
Yeah, makes Lucifer basically disappear.
Yeah.
Which is great. And then Sam's like, I'm not fully better, but like, let's go, me and you.
Yeah. He says, when Sam says he's not seeing the white rabbits, he's referencing the film Harvey from 1950, where the main character has a possibly imaginary friend named Harvey, who's a 6-foot-tall white rabbit.
I mean, he's also referencing like Alice in Wonderland and
Sure, yeah.
everything that invokes white rabbit.
Sure,
You
yeah.
know? Yeah.
They then receive a call from Bobby, who tells them about the encounter with the Leviathan, and the silver buckshot didn't work.
Yeah.
He tells Sam to meet back at his house to regroup, and Sam tells Dean that, and they head out.
Yeah.
So they search for any sign of Bobby at the house, but there's nothing there.
The house has been torched,
Yeah, fully burned down.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
I truly thought this happened later in the season.
I know.
was like, already?
Crazy.
In my memory, all the big moments I remember must be different episodes. So
Yeah.
I was like, well, we've already had Cass walking into the lake.
So funny. They search for any sign of Bobby, but find nothing. Dean
Yeah.
calls Bobby, and they only get Bobby's voicemail.
Yeah, well, I do love the voicemail where it's like, "This is Bobby Singer's private number. You shouldn't have this."
Yeah. Like, someone must have it. You gave it to him.
It's so surly. It's
So
just a
funny.
really, really good little detail.
Dean leaves Bobby a message saying that he isn't fine, and he says, "If you're gone, I swear I'm going to strap my beautiful mind brother into the car, and I'm going to drive us off the pier."
Yeah,
Which is crazy.
yeah. It's a good little,
Totally.
good little performance there. Yeah,
Then Edgar shows up and tells them that they are worthy of being eliminated.
yeah. He's like, I would take it as a compliment.
Yeah. Then he moves towards Sam and is shot by Dean, but of course is unaffected.
Doesn't do anything.
Edgar flings Dean at a car and breaks his leg.
Yeah, they try a few things. It doesn't really do anything.
They notice a car above, and Sam signals to Dean, and Sam turns around as he hit Edgar with a pipe, or Edgar hits him with a pipe and knocks him out cold.
And then Dean like drops basically a junk car on
And crushes
Edgar
him.
and crushes him. We see black goo kind of
Totally. Dean crawls over to Sam and is unable to wait.
Dean's leg
Sam.
is broken, by
Yeah.
the way, too.
Yeah. And with no other option, Dean calls 911 for help.
Yeah. And then they're like, "Great, we'll get you to Sioux Falls General." And he's like, "No,
No, anywhere but that. We then see Lucifer, who admits that he might not be real,
Yeah,
but he's not going anywhere.
yeah, it's interesting to see this hallucination be like, "Well, I know you know I'm not real, but I can still fucking bug you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still fucking with you.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's interesting.
back at Bobby's yard under the car where Edgar was crushed, the black liquid flows back into Edgar.
And his
And-
hand moves.
Yep. And Edgar starts moving his fingers.
Man.
Leviathan are here. It's a new season, new big bad.
And thus far, we cannot deal with them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
Crazy.
And it's not a weird, crazy, stupid thing that kills them.
I mean, does it even kill them?
I
Doesn't
don't
it?
even remember. It just bugs them.
That's how I remember it.
I'm excited for us to find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, what did you think about this episode?
I think this is a really, really strong episode. It is funny. You know, you talked a bit about it last season. We talked a bit about it with Kyle last week. The premiere is still it's actually more of like a finale to last season.
Totally, yeah.
You know, it has premiere energy in some ways.
Yeah. This feels like a premiere to me.
But this feels like what they've done in the past for premieres. So it is a little funny, like just setup wise for the season, but I think it's a really solid one. I love, seeing the black stuff go out, and that montage of it getting people, and just like the threat of that. That Cass is like exploded.
Yeah.
Dean took his trench coat out of the lake and be like, "You stupid son of a bitch."
Yeah. As far as we know, Cass is gone.
It's such like an ignoble end for
Yeah.
Castiel.
Totally.
And yeah, I mean the creepy face thing is great.
Love that effect.
Love like a new monster with
Yeah.
an insane kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
thing.
Because not only are they like maniacal, because we've gotten that before. Not only are they powerful, but they're also scary looking and want to eat people. Like
Yeah.
it's sort of taking all of the villains we've had prior and
Yeah.
pulling them together.
Yeah, nothing works against them. They could take any form.
Yeah.
There's no,
Yeah, yeah.
and they keep changing form.
Totally.
It's not like, well, I'm in this one. I'm gonna
Exactly.
deal with it. It's. I love the threat of that they're trying to be organized and quiet. I
Terrifying.
love the idea that already they've been in the world for like a day and a half, and there's clearly like communication and planning.
Yeah.
So this is like a thing where it's like, in purgatory, they might have been like, if we ever get out.
This is how we do
But
it.
also that whole time that they were in Cass, they were plotting.
Oh, yeah.
Like so that now that they're out, they're like, okay, and break. And they
Yeah.
it's sort of like
it's scary how quickly they move.
it's really, really creepy. I think it sets them up as such a good threat. I love the stuff with Sam in this episode. Sam
well
is
performed.
so good in this episode.
Jared did a good job.
Lucifer's great in this episode. Good performance. Jared did a great job. And this episode really does put you in the position of questioning what you are seeing. I think you really, really empathize. This is a terrific episode.
Totally.
I feel there's a part of me that's like, I don't have a note against it, but I don't feel like I can give it 5. But I will give it 4.75.
Wow.
Dropped junked cars.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is there's some really good stuff in this season. So I'm not going to give it that high of a score. I totally agree with you. I think like it's nice to see Sam have a problem and say something.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Hey, do you know what? This is just good advice in general. If you see something, say something.
Yeah.
Oh,
yikes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Do ask, do tell.
Yeah. Or don't ask, do tell.
Yeah. Either way.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah. Oh, do tell.
Oh, don't ask, do tell.
But I have not a lot of notes. It's a great episode.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5 spurts of black ink.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Love that.
Yeah, like an octopus coming.
Yeah. All right. Give me a octopus facial.
Jesus. I'd like to be down on my knees for an octopus's facial.
with you. That's fucking insane. Holy shit. Oh. That's fucking incredible.
I'm so sorry.
Before we go,
That's a shirt.
we've got a note from a fellow hunter.
Sure, let's have it.
With the title Dean's Sleepwear.
Oh, okay.
Hi, my name is Ginger, he, him. And one of your past episodes, you talked about how weird it was that Dean sleeps with all of his clothes on top of his blanket.
Oh, yeah, yes, yeah.
I also thought this was weird, so I Googled Dean sleeping. I'm sure some great stories.
Here's the best, but like that's the most normal thing for a Supernatural
Yes,
fan to do.
Truly. And I found some very interesting things, LOL.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's have it.
In episode 4, The Phantom Traveler, we see Dean sleeping for the first time and he's wearing boxer briefs. And we get that camera pan of his ass. Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I think we only see him sleeping like a normal person in season 1, and then when he's with Lisa,
Right.
And probably when they were living in the bunker. We'll get there.
Yeah, that's right.
But I restart my rewatch after season 7 every time, so I don't know.
Interesting.
Speaking of season 7, I am so excited to hear you guys, your opinions on this season. Season 7 is far my favorite because
Whoa.
I know. I love Lucifer and I love seeing Sam in pain.
I like calling him Lucifer.
Yeah,
that's really good. That's definitely going to stick.
Yeah. I am a diehard Sam girl, and I have been since I started watching the show back in 2015. When I was 12, I'm mentioning this only because I want to make you feel old. In 2015, they were 12.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even put... no.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Not like this.
Yep, just like that.
Not like this.
Unfortunately.
Do you know where I was when I was 12?
What?
Watching 9/11 happen.
On your birthday.
That'd be insane. Yeah.
Yeah. We've never talked about
Insane
your
that
birthday.
I got what I wanted.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's weird that you blew the candles over. 2 candles.
Sorry. They were voodoo candles.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So I love seeing Sam go through horrible things. I just love the angst, you know. Typing this out loud, it makes me think I'm a sadist, but I assure you I am the opposite. I love the feeling. I love feeling the pain I get from seeing Sam in pain.
Yeah, that's not the opposite of sadism. Yeah. I hate to break it to you. I mean, I guess it's the opposite in that it's masochism.
Sure, yeah. And since I'm autistic and love this show, I've been taking meticulous notes. And
I love that.
And I think you might be interested in. Over the course of season 1, Sam drives the Impala 8 times.
Okay.
Wow,
that's a lot.
I know. They only say jerk and bitch 7 times in the whole show. And Sam's taste in music is never explored, besides, I think, a little bit when he had his iPod into the car. or something like that.
Yeah, the first gen iPod that he had.
Yeah. In season 2, episode 11, when Ava went missing, Dean says, since Ava, I thought there'd be more angsty, droopy music staring out rainy windows. I can only assume that droopy music to Dean means emo. I could totally picture young Sam blasting OK Computer out of his Walkman headset
Does that
in the
count
back
as
of the
emo?
Impala.
Is Radiohead emo?
I don't really know.
I mean, I guess it's not emo.
Kripke said that in an interview that maybe Sam listens to The Killers, Fall Out Boy, Green Day, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I could see him listening to the Chili's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I could also see Sam really being into Default.
Dashboard.
Or that, yeah. Yeah, you're right. He's a Dashboard guy. Yeah.
And
By the way, I tried to look up tickets for that. Bullshit. It's
Really?
a bullshit tour.
Oh.
1 Canadian date,
What?
2 South African dates.
What?
1 Canadian date, not with Dashboard.
Bullshit.
So, yeah. Sorry. I like to air our
Our
personal
life admin,
stuff
yeah.
on the podcast.
Jared said that he probably listens to Death Cab for Cutie, which I
Oh,
believe,
hell yeah.
Jared's a bit basic. Like, he's not going deep cut like indie.
I
but-
like it, though.
Yeah.
That's about my level of indie, too, though.
I mean, truly, yeah.
Yeah.
In that way.
Man, I do love...
This is what I mean. You're a Sam.
Then he's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could go on for days about all the little subtexty things in this show, like how Sam and Dean both struggle with disordered eating, the casual alcoholism, the blatant fact that Dean is deeply closeted bisexual, and how Castiel is autism coded. Totally.
Yeah.
He hangs out in the heaven of an autistic man in his free time. He basically said it himself.
Interesting.
But I don't want to take up too much of your time. I love your podcast, and I recently got into watching old Batman cartoons, so I've been listening to the Dr. DC as well.
Hell yeah.
Keep up all the great work. I'm excited to rewatch the rest of the show with you. Love, Ginger.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. What a great note. My God.
Love that. We love autistic note-taking.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's no hint of
Yeah.
sarcasm or irony there at all. Yeah.
Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
If you want to continue this discussion on our Discord,
Nice.
you can
Found it.
You can subscribe to our Patreon.
That's right. Patreon.com/Ghostfacers. For only $1 a month, you get access to Angel Radio, our awesome community Discord server.
Yeah, baby.
People are so lovely in there, so nice, very sweet, and it helps to support us.
Yeah, and you can also send a note just like Ginger did by going to ghostfacerspodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
Or subscribing to our different social media channels.
Sugar water.
Egger.
We're Ghostfacers Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
That's right. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on whatever feed that you listen to us on, and give us a 5-star review, and we'll read that on a future episode of the pod. Also, we've got merch at ghostfacerspodcaststore.com. Make sure that you get your
Octopus's facial shirt. Yeah. Yeah, let's get that one. Yeah.
And Ginger mentioned it, and you should be just like Ginger and listen to the Dr. DC podcast.
That's right. Our other podcast, the Dr. DC podcast, we talk about DC Comics. We answer listener questions about superheroes and comic books and stuff like that. If you like how we talk about the lore of monsters and the cosmos on Supernatural, you might enjoy how we talk about similar stuff over on that one.
That's right. And sometimes I'm even on. Say goodbye, bitch.
Sure.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.